Stop. You are not behind. But if you misunderstand what I'm about to tell you, you could stay stuck. Not for 1 year, not for 5, but for the next 10, 20, even 30 years. And the worst part, you'll think it's your fault. You'll think you weren't smart enough, or disciplined enough, or lucky enough. But that's not true. You were just missing one thing, one idea. And once it clicks, everything changes. Here's a question. At what age do most people become millionaires? Think about it. 25, 30, 40. That's what we see online. The 22-year-old crypto millionaire. The 27-year-old real estate guru. The 30-year-old founders selling their startup. Fast money. Young success. Overnight miracles. But here's the truth they don't show you. Those people are the exception, not the rule. They are the lightning strike, not the rain. So let me ask again. Not the exception, the rule. The normal person. The person who works a job, pays bills, has dreams, maybe a family. At what age do most of those people become millionaires? The data is clear, and it will shock you. Because everything you've been told is a lie. Most people do not become millionaires in their 20s, or their 30s, or even their early 40s. Most people become millionaires in their late 40s or their early 50s. 50, that's the number. 50 years old. And no, it's not because they were slow. It's not because they failed. It's not because they weren't talented. It's because of something almost nobody understands early enough. Something so simple it's almost embarrassing. Let me tell you a story. 2 friends. Same age. Same college. Same salary. Nothing special about either of them. Let's call them Ryan and Daniel. Both started working at 25. Both had the same goal. A better life. More freedom. Less stress. But their decisions were slightly different. Ryan believed something very common. I'll start saving later, when I earn more. So he enjoyed the present. Spent a little more. Upgraded slowly. Better phone. Better car. Better apartment. Better lifestyle. Nothing extreme. Just normal. Just comfortable. Daniel made one small decision. One tiny, boring, unsexy decision. No matter what, he would invest something. Every single month. Even if it felt small. Even if it felt pointless. So he started with $200 a month. At first, nothing happened. Year 1, almost no difference. Year 2, still small. Year 3, barely noticeable. Meanwhile, Ryan looked ahead. Better job. Better lifestyle. More freedom. More visible success. He bought the nice watch. Took the nice vacation. Drove the nice car. And Daniel looked like he was missing out. His friends told him, "You can invest later. Enjoy life now. You're only young once." And for a moment, he almost listened. Because it felt like nothing was working. Like he was sacrificing for no reason. Like he was falling behind. But here's what he didn't see. Something was building. Not fast. Not loud. Not visible. But underneath, under the surface, something was alive. Now fast forward. Age 35. Ryan earns more. Almost double what he started with. But he spends more too. His lifestyle grew with his income. Bigger rent. Nicer car. More expensive habits. And somehow, he still feels stuck. Still stressed. Still one paycheck away from anxiety. Now Daniel. Still not rich. Still not a millionaire. But something has changed. His money is no longer sitting still. It's growing. Slowly. But consistently. $200 a month became $400. $400 became $800. Not because he owned more, but because his money started working. And more importantly, it's compounding. Now fast forward again. Age 45. This is where everything changes. Ryan is working harder than ever. Longer hours. More stress. Trying to catch up. He looks at his retirement account and thinks, I need 10 more years. Maybe 15. Still dependent on his job. Still trading time for money. Still hoping for a miracle. Daniel, this is the moment. His investments have had 20 years to grow. 20 years of small, boring, consistent contributions. And now something magical happens. His money is growing faster than he is contributing. Do you understand what that means? He could stop saving tomorrow, and his money would still grow. By itself. Without him. This is the turning point. The moment where effort turns into momentum. Where discipline turns into freedom. And finally, around his late 40s, he crosses $1 million. Not suddenly. Not overnight. Not with a lucky trade or a rich uncle. But after 20 years of quiet consistency, 20 years of feeling invisible, 20 years of watching other people flash success, 20 years of asking himself, is this even working? And then one day, it worked. Now here's the part most people miss. It looks like Daniel became rich late. 48 years old. Almost 50. But that's not true. He became wealthy the moment he started. Because he gave himself something powerful. Something no amount of money can buy. Time. Now let me show you something even more important. Something that might hurt to hear. There was another friend. Let's call her Maya. Maya didn't start at 25. She waited. Not because she was lazy. Not because she was careless. But because she thought, I'll start when I'm ready. I'll start when I have more money. I'll start when my career is stable. She focused on her job. Improved her income. Got promotions. Did everything right. But she delayed investing. She finally started at 35. And she invested more than Daniel. More money. More aggressively. $500 a month. Then $800. Then $1,000. But here's what happened. Even with more money, even with more discipline, even with more intensity, she struggled to catch up. Because she lost 10 years. 10 years of compounding. 10 years of momentum. 10 years of letting time do the heavy lifting. And those 10 years were the most powerful years. The early years. The years when compounding is slow but building. Like a snowball at the top of a hill. Daniel started pushing his snowball at 25. Small. Slow. Almost nothing. But by 35, it had weight. By 45, it was rolling on its own. Maya started pushing at 35. Same hill. Bigger snowball. But she started 10 years behind. And no matter how hard she pushed, she could never get those 10 years back. This is the part most people underestimate. It's not about how much you invest. It's about how early you start. Because time multiplies everything. Not addition. Multiplication. $1 at 25 is worth more than $3 at 35. Not because of magic. Because of time. Because compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. But only if you give it room to breathe. Now think about this again. If most people become millionaires in their late 40s or early 50s, that means something important. It means success is delayed, not denied. And that changes everything. Because now you stop chasing speed. And you start focusing on consistency. You stop comparing yourself to someone else's highlight reel. On someone else's timeline. From someone else's lucky break. And you start building your own. Because wealth is not about being first. It's about staying in the game long enough for the system to work. Now let's be honest. The hardest part is not investing. The hardest part is not the math. The hardest part is staying consistent when nothing is happening. When your progress feels invisible. When your effort feels unrewarded. When your friends are buying houses and you're buying index funds. When your colleagues are taking European vacations and you're auto-investing $200. When it feels slow. When it feels pointless. When it feels like you're the only one sacrificing. That's the test. That's the wall. That's where 90% of people quit. Not because they are incapable. Not because they are undisciplined. But because they need to see results now. And when they don't, they assume it's not working. So they stop. They pull their money. They spend it on something immediate. They tell themselves, I'll start again next year. And right there, right before everything changes, they walk away. Don't. Because if you feel behind, you're not. If it feels slow, you're exactly where you should be. If it feels like nothing is happening, that means something is building. Underground. Invisible. Like roots before a tree breaks through the soil. And one day, you will see it. The growth. The momentum. The results. And it will feel fast. It will feel like it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. You'll remember the quiet years. You'll remember the doubt. You'll remember the moment you almost quit. And you'll be grateful you didn't. Because it was never fast. It was consistent. So the real question is not, at what age do most people become millionaires? That question is answered. Late 40s. Early 50s. That's the data. That's the truth. The real question is, will you stay consistent long enough to become one? Not, are you smart enough? Not, are you lucky enough? Not, do you earn enough? But, will you stay? When it's boring, when it's slow, when no one is clapping, will you stay? Because the moment you start, the clock starts. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when you feel ready. Now, and every day you stay consistent, you get closer, Every month that auto investment runs, you move forward. Every year you resist the urge to quit. The hill gets steeper, and the snowball gets heavier, and the momentum gets stronger. So start now, even if it's small, especially if it's small. Stay patient, even when it's slow, especially when it's slow. Because your future wealth is not decided by one big decision, one lucky trade, one perfect moment. It's decided by small decisions repeated over time. Boring decisions, quiet decisions, invisible decisions. Until one day, they are not invisible anymore. Until one day, you check your account and you don't recognize the number. Until one day, you realize you're not chasing freedom anymore. You're living it. Most people become millionaires in their late 40s. That's not a failure of speed. That's a reward for staying. So stay. Your 50-year-old self is watching, and they are so proud of you for starting today.